Hey guys, so it's another day of living the good life. I had to ship out a couple items this morning, and then I had the best mailman ever because I did not put in my pickup request, or I thought I did, but I never got the confirmation email. So I'm like, well, if he doesn't pick up, then I'll just have to take him to the post office this afternoon. But right as I was putting them out on the porch, he was driving by and he stopped and he's like, even when you don't have a pickup request in, I always look to see if there's packages on your porch. So, I mean, that is like the best mailman ever. So at least 5 days a week when he's, working his normal route and he's not on vacation, I know that I'm taken care of, which is a relief. But, yeah, so I got those shipped out. Holly was here and she took pictures of 27 items today. So I'm going to go ahead this afternoon while I'm watching TV because, I have a fabulous, glamorous life. I'm going to list those from the phone that she took the pictures on. And we did stop and do a little shopping, just little, at my favorite thrift store, and I picked up a couple of things. I thought I'd share those with you. And then there's something I wanted to a tool, you know, information that's out there that people don't think about when they have that eBay question. And I want to talk about that for a minute. So we'll talk about those things for a minute. So first thing I bought this for 50 cents. This is a Pollinex. Remember Pollinex? I mean, do they even make stuff anymore? I don't even know. Pollinex is called the Twist, and it is a massager. And I picked this up and I told my daughter, I said, I think this is a massager. And she goes, Mom, you're just saying that because you don't know what it is. But it is indeed a massager. And this is from the 80s. And I think I paid 50 cents for it. I probably can get 12, maybe 12, 15 bucks for it. It is tested and, well, it turns on. I didn't sit and rub my back with it or anything, but it does turn on and work. So there's that. I didn't get any super duper like over the top expensive items today, but I got some bread and butter. This is an HP LaserJet toner that I bought for $2.50. This will sell for about $25. Bearcat scanner. I might plug this in and just listen to see if it works. It's like a police scanner kind of thing. I paid $2.50 for this. This will sell for just under $20. But it does have the manual and the antenna and everything. And this is older technology, but it might still be fun. This is a pair of eyeglasses. I'm kind of getting into the eyeglasses, and I haven't sold one single pair, I'll be real honest. This is a pair of Tory Burch prescription eyeglasses, though. I paid $1.50 for. These should go for about $30 or $35 if I ever actually sell a pair of eyeglasses. I'm trying to dip my toe in that game. I'm just not having a lot of success, but it's a learning process. This is a new product, so this I don't think is worth anything. I might be able to sell it. I don't know. It's this binder called American Pastimes, and I was just kind of fascinated by some of the projects that are in here. There's your typical, like, these Amish dolls. There's some crochet kind of stuff in here. Clothespin dolls. There's some applique needlepoint kind of things, which is boring, I know, for a lot of people. But this has everything in it. Bread making. It has some cake decorating. Look at this cute little teddy bear. Anyway, I paid $2 for this. I thought it would be something fun for me to kind of look through, maybe do a couple other projects, and then I'll pass it on either to a daughter, or I'll try and sell it for 10 bucks or something. But it's a really nice binder. It's by Field Publications. I don't know who they are, but just a nice binder. It looks like it's probably from the 80s into the 90s, but I'm sure that it has some good information in it. It does have some things that I like napkin folding, because I like to live with my toes hanging over the edge with some napkin folding. But I find that stuff kind of homey and comforting, and I just like it. So just get off my back, okay? Dang it, I just like my napkin folding. So anyway, it does have some interesting stuff like that. And again, I'm going to, check it out and then I'll get rid of it. I wish it had canning stuff in it because I want to go buy this corn. Meijer, which is one of our local grocery stores, has ears of corn for $8 for $1 right now. Can you believe $8 for $1? And I would love to go get some and can it, but I don't know how long to can corn. I think probably 90 minutes is long enough, but I'm not sure. So if you know, tell me, because I'd appreciate it. And just for, all that corn picking, kind of corn cutting off the husk, cutting off the cob kind of thing, I bought this mandolin today. I have this thing for mandolins. I don't know why. It's a sickness. I'll admit it. Do they have like one of those AA kind of things for people that buy mandolins? I don't know. This one's actually new. Hasn't been used. There's all the blades for it. Here is the thing that keeps you from chopping your fingers off. Nice setup. And I like this because it's built on a bowl with a flat bottom. So, man, you could put this on a, like a silicone. I have these silicone trivets, and it'll keep it from sliding. I bet you can just cut the heck out of corn. It is made by, I don't even know if it's not made by anybody in particular. I mean, that's pretty bad when they won't put their name on it. But I paid $2.50 for it. And I was thinking, man, that'd be good to cut that corn off. I know. I'll see if there's some therapy or something for that. But anyway, so I did buy that for myself. I know it. I just can't stop. I like stuff. I'm like everybody else. I like stuff. So this is called a Halo scanner mouse. I didn't even know this was a thing, honestly. But apparently you can scan the receipt with the mouse, and it will connect to your computer and put it in the computer. It's being sold as is, so I'll probably need to test this. I bought it for $1. It looks like I can get between $15 and $20 for that. We picked this up for $5. This is a Curtis DVD player. It's not a really high-end brand, but we paid $5. The remote by itself sells for $7, but I think we can get about $30 for this DVD player. And this one is lightweight. It's going to be an easy ship, easy peasy. That's what I like. So it looks like, was that all I bought? I feel light, like I did, but anyway. I think I bought a toy or something for the baby because I just can't seem not to buy something for the baby when I go. But yeah, so that's what I bought. I spent like $25, $28, something like that. So I should be okay. Nice bread and butter items here. At least I hope they're bread and butter, and that I hope they sell soon. But I'm going to share my desktop with you guys, and I just want to talk to you about this information, and so just hang on for 1 second. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about some resources that people tend to forget about when they are looking for some information or are in trouble and need to understand why something happened or what will happen if so-and-so happens. I couldn't have said that worse if I tried. Anyway, so 2 things I want to talk about are, 1, how to contact eBay if, in fact, you've got a situation and you need to talk to them. So what you'll do is go up here to the front, the top of your page, and there's a help and contact button. And if you need to talk to eBay, scroll down to the bottom and hit that contact button. They'll make you sign in, and they're going to try and make you jump through a few hoops here to figure out what your problem is. So, you can go through, you might not find exactly, let's say your problem is with returns for sellers. Maybe you want to know the status of a case. You can click on that It'll ask you to choose the return, and then it gives you a couple of options here. The third option I have honestly never used, where I've posted a question for the eBay community to chime in on, but that is an option. I've always used these two options. So you can either click the call me button and they will ask for your phone number, and then they will call you usually pretty quickly. They usually call pretty quickly. Or you can call them and go through the prompts, because it'll give you a 6-digit code, and the phone number. And you would just need to call them, put in that phone number, and then move on. But so that's a way to contact them if you're in a situation where you need some clarification, or you are worried about a particular situation. That's where I call if somebody hasn't, let's say, for example, the return has been open. I am waiting for that person to ship the item back to me. They have not shipped it. I want that return to close. I'm going to call eBay to get them to close it. So those are things that reasons that I would call eBay. But also, I wanted to point out that help and contact button has so much more stuff. So, for example, people get items or listings removed because they have not, they did not understand that the item was prohibited. So if you go into the search button in the search window, and I like to use restricted, and there it is. What items are prohibited and restricted? You can click on that, and it will give you some of the most common. But you can click right here and look at all of this. Now, all of these things aren't restricted or prohibited, but there's some element about them that is. For example, cosmetics. So that puzzled look on my face was me trying to figure out how to pause this, because somebody was knocking on my door. And it was actually the kids that live in the condo units on either side of me. And I usually leave toys on the back porch for them. And we had to throw Frisbee for the last 15 minutes or so. So that's about all the exercise I'm going to get. But yeah, so that was pretty fun. Anyway, so when you click on a policy, for example, the cosmetics policy, it will give you what the guidelines are. For example, you're allowed to sell new cosmetic brushes and applicators. There are some restrictions, though. You can sell new cosmetics as long as they're sold in their original container with the ingredient labeling per the FDA regulations. You can also sell used cosmetic brushes as long as they've been thoroughly cleaned, homemade cosmetics. So you really need to look at what the restrictions are. And then it says here that these items are prohibited. Used cosmetics, used makeup sponges or applicators, cosmetics, colognes, perfume, lotions, which do not come in the original container. So that's really important, because I know that a lot of folks will try to sell used cosmetics, but it's not allowed at all. I think some buyers or some sellers get around that by saying there's just been a swatch taken, like they've tested color and that it didn't work for them. And technically that's not a used item. But we need to make sure that that is indeed the case when we're looking at used cosmetics. And that's just one example. I was feeling parched. Had to get a little water. So that's one example. Let's look at something else. Animal and wildlife products. Because this comes up in places that you wouldn't necessarily think. And I've had it come up in jewelry, for example. There are some Victorian pins, brooches that have animal claws on them that are indeed prohibited. So you would need to go through, for example, ivory and bone. It shows here these items are strictly prohibited. You cannot sell these items on eBay. Now, some of these items you can sell, they're not illegal to sell elsewhere. For example, ivory before a certain date, and I don't sell ivory at all. I don't deal in ivory, so I'm not really sure like what that date is. I don't know. It's like early 1900s or like 1890 or something like that. I think it's in the 1900s though. But on eBay, those items are strictly prohibited. You cannot sell them. They're not illegal to sell elsewhere, but eBay makes it their policy that you cannot sell them. Then there are these items which you can sell, before the year 1900, which contain less than 5% real ivory, and were made before the year 1900. You can sell these items. So you really need to understand what the guidelines are for the items that you're selling, because that's where you see sellers getting their listings pulled, and then they don't understand the policy, and they try to list it again, then their account gets suspended or restricted. So you really need to understand these prohibitions and restrictions before you're selling the item. I would, if I were you, browse through these to see if there are any categories that you might need to know about. I am probably not in danger of selling any catalytic converters or test pipes, so probably won't review that category. Clearly, drugs and drug paraphernalia, I'm not going to venture into that. But currency, I could get into that. I have a lot of coins. And paper money that are foreign or whatever. Anyway, there are guidelines for that. And if I was going to sell those, I would need to make it a point to understand what those guidelines are. But there's more here. For example, people get confused about their handling time and think that they have 48 hours. If they have 2 business days, they have 48 hours. And that's not necessarily the case. So what you would need to do is look up handling time here, and it will clearly tell you what handling time is. So if you have 2-day handling time and the payment clears, for example, in this example, by 3 p.m. Pacific time, that's typically 2 to 3 hours ahead of East Coast, depending on, well, I don't know about the daylight savings time or whatever. But anyway, let's say it's 3 hours. So if it clears at 3 p.m. on Pacific time, that's going to be 6 p.m. on Eastern time. Then you have until midnight, 11:59 on Wednesday, that you have until 11:59 p.m. To get your items scanned in. It has to be scanned by the post office by that time to meet your 2-day handling time. So this is a place where you can get clarification on that. Same day is a little different because you choose your cutoff time. For example, if your cutoff time is 2 p.m., then it's only when the payment clears before 2 p.m. on that day that you would have until that night. So for this example, it says payment clears Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, so that's noon Eastern time. Your package must be scanned by Monday 11:59 p.m. To have that same day handling time. And the other example is if the payment doesn't clear until 3 p.m. Pacific time, so that'd be 6 p.m. Eastern time, then you would have until the next day at 11:59 p.m. So I just wanted you to know that this resource is here. It's not really light reading. I mean, nobody's going to want to nobody's going to want to just pour over this, but this is a good resource for you to go when you have questions like any of these. So talks about the different types of fees that there are, and I'm sure that if you click on this final value fee, it will give you so much more information. You can even click in this hyperlink and it will tell you what fees are for any particular item. So I just wanted you to know that this resource is here. It is to protect you. And I think because of some of the trends that I've seen in some of the larger Facebook groups, that I would want to refer here, regardless if I post a question on one of those Facebook pages or not. And the reason, because you will get conflicting information from them. This seller will sell this. This seller will sell this. Say this. And you're not getting clear information. And this is straight from the horse's mouth. I mean, if you're a kind of person that wants to look in a horse's mouth, more power to you. But anyway, this is straight from the horse's mouth. But I just wanted you to know this is here. This is a great resource. You can do a little bit of searching around and find the information that you're looking for. And then if you get that information and it's not clear, you can say, this is what eBay policy says. Can somebody chime in on some of the, what their experience has been? Because eBay has its policy, but sometimes it is enforced differently by different eBay reps. That's a whole different ball of wax. But that is out there. Another thing that you can do, which does not always give you the best, the most current information, but it is a resource. You can Google a question about what is eBay handling time, and you'll get like the link to the pages, but you may also get sometimes you'll get the communities, the answer from the eBay community. And that can be a resource too. You can check with the eBay community. There's a lot of information there, but it's really, you have to find the right question and then read all of the responses to basically get the right, to get the information. So it's a little less efficient, but it's there. Another thing I wanted to show you is this, just because it's here, it's on that that fee, basically the question I typed about eBay fees, it's on that related topic. And this is how you would decide when it's time for you to get a store subscription or upgrade a store subscription, because it will show you what it would cost you based on this many listings in this category for a month, with an average selling price of this. You have to have some information. Like, I don't do any auctions, so we'll look at, let's say I do 500 listings a month and 0, and then how many items do I sell a month? Let's say 130. And my average selling price is about $28, and my average shipping cost is about $10. And I want to look at the monthly subscription. It will calculate, let's say, I do a lot of, not any of this. Where is the category? Let's just say it was clothing. And you calculate that, and it shows you that the basic and the premium store are going to cost you about the same. And you may want to boost up to the premium store just because you can list up to 1,000 things for free. So, I mean, that's a good way to know. You can click the button again and recalculate if you want to look at yearly, because look, now the premium store is actually a little cheaper, and it will save you $120 a year to do it that way. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that since we were there. But that's all I've got today. I just wanted to give you some resources to go to when you have some questions. Obviously, you can always reach out to a Facebook group. You can always join our Facebook group and ask questions in a safe, no shade zone. And but this is a resource, in the middle of the night, or if you're bored and you want a little light reading, there it is. So anyway, that's all I've got for today. Just remember that the dream works when you do, so keep dreaming and keep working, and I'll see you guys the next time. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment.